Professor Benjamin is a University of California faculty member, co-founder and director of the Amcha Initiative. She is receiving the Cohon Award this year in Unity. She has worked steadfastly against academic anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, lecturing widely on the growing threat to the safety of our Jewish students on college campuses. She's led a coalition of nearly 50 Jewish and education advocacy groups that successfully lobbied the University of California system, the nation's largest and most prestigious public university system, and got them to condemn anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic forms of anti-Zionism. The UC has been an area of controversy and a hotbed of this kind of challenge to the university's students. But this was the first time the U.S. university public system adopted a landmark intolerance policy protecting Jewish students. She's presented around the world at a variety of conferences on anti-Semitism, and she has filed federal lawsuits to protect the rights of students and to defeat anti-Semitic activity on campus. We are honored to be able to present our winner of the Unity Award for 2016, Professor Tammi Rossman-Benjamin.
Shabbat Shalom. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you here tonight. I'm extremely grateful for the award I'm receiving this evening from the Cohon Foundation for the work that I do with Amcha Initiative, a nonprofit that combats anti-Semitism on college and university campuses around the country. Despite the success that our organization has had in raising awareness about campus anti-Semitism and making inroads in getting university leaders to address the problem, the award I'm receiving is not for combating anti-Semitism, but for promoting unity, and I'm deeply grateful for that, because unity is at the heart of Amcha Initiative, and in some sense, it's really the reason that our organization exists. As you may know, Amcha is a Hebrew word meaning your people, everyday people, people who are united in the present by a sense of their history and a sense of their common destiny. In 2012, Dr. Leila Beckwith and I, both of us faculty at the University of California, we founded Amcha Initiative after years of seeing up close the growing anti-Jewish hostility on UC campuses. Acts such as physical and verbal assault, harassment, discrimination, destruction of property, and suppression of speech and assembly. Actions that were a direct result of anti-Israel sentiment among students and faculty. Leila and I realized that the best hope for defeating the hatred was to bring together the Jewish community, Amcha, and its allies and supporters to speak in one voice on behalf of Jewish students. As both a student of contemporary anti-Semitism and the Bible, I've drawn a lot of inspiration from one particular book of the Bible, and that's the book of Esther, which deals with one of the earliest recorded instances of genocidal anti-Semitism. I'm sure you're all familiar with the story. We read it every year on the holiday of Purim. You'll of course remember the arch-villain, Haman, chief minister of the king of Persia. Haman calls for the extermination of every Jew in the kingdom. In making his case for genocide to the king, Haman calls the Jews of Persia an Am Mifuzar or Miforad, a people scattered and dispersed throughout the kingdom, and therefore unable to defend themselves, what we call nowadays a soft target. The rabbis of the Talmud say that not only was Haman's characterization of the Jews correct, the Jewish community in Persia at the time was plagued by divisiveness and disunity, but it was precisely that disunity that allowed Haman's genocidal plan to almost succeed. However, the rabbis of the Talmud also tell us that it was the Jews' ability to overcome their disunity, to stand together in the face of crisis, and to achieve the ultimate Jewish value of achdut, of communal oneness from the Hebrew word echad, that allowed the Jews of Persia to ultimately overcome the anti-Semitism of their day. Well, divisiveness and disunity among Jews, even among Jewish communal organizations, is no less a problem today than it was 2,500 years ago. And when it comes to campus anti-Semitism, our divisiveness has been a major part of the problem. After all, if the Jewish community can't stand united on behalf of Jewish students in the face of growing threats to their safety and well-being, then why should university leaders do anything about the problem? On the other hand, experience has shown that when we do stand together, it can make a remarkable difference. You have just heard about the campaign that our organization helped to spearhead, urging the University of California regents to adopt a strong statement identifying anti-Semitism as a bigotry to be condemned no less vigorously than any other racial, ethnic, or gender bigotry, and acknowledging that anti-Zionism is the prominent face of anti-Semitism today. In order to show the regents that this issue was of utmost concern within the Jewish community and simply could no longer be ignored, we endeavored to bring together as many Jewish voices as we could. By the end of our campaign, there were 60 Jewish, Christian, civil rights, legal, and education organizations, including groups like International Hillel, the Jewish Federations of North America, the JCRC, the Anti-Defamation League, the AJ Committee, the Zionist Organization of America, Christians United for Israel, the Institute for Black Solidarity with Israel, the Simon Wiesenthal Center, the National Jewish Fraternity and Sorority, the California Legislature's Jewish Caucus, and several thousand members and supporters of the Jewish community who stood shoulder to shoulder and spoke in one voice, urging the regents to adopt a strong statement about campus anti-Semitism. And I am absolutely certain that it was this show of achdut, of communal unity, that convinced the regents to unanimously approve such a statement and to stand firm in the face of extraordinary backlash from several anti-Zionist groups. For me personally, the fact that so many diverse communal groups and individuals could stand united on behalf of Jewish students was as much of a victory, I would even call it a miracle, as the Regent's landmark statement, which, to my delight, was actually adopted on Purim Day. I truly believe that our UC campaign, whose success was achieved through an unprecedented show of unity, can be a model for how other communities can come together to fight campus anti-Semitism. And I'm deeply grateful to the Cohon family for recognizing that achievement. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you and Mazel Tov.